I say talking to Dennis because he's probably the only one listening. Or no, is there anyone else listening? Look, if there is anyone else listening to those block chats, show us some thumbs up, some comments. It's not bad at all. We had a great summer. Everyone was on vacations. You were on vacations. We were on vacations. Um, every member of the team had one or multiple vacations, and yet work was happening, and there's too much taking place. And actually, it was a pretty busy summer and a pretty successful one. So, welcome to Block Chat. It's another Block Chat, and today with Denis Petrovcic and Makram Hani.
Hey.
Again, if you're listening, show us some love, or hate, but show us something. Tell us if you're alive. Dennis, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks, Makram. You mentioned summer. Yeah, we've because of we're a decentralized team or a distributed team across different jurisdictions, different time zones, and so forth. And summer, in a way, more or less for everybody, it's the time where we might take a week, 2 weeks off, maybe even 3 weeks off, depends on each one's preferences. For instance, I don't take a full week off. We moved to the Croatian seaside with my wife and 4 kids, and so they have a lot of time on the seaside, etc. And I actually work every day to just have this continuity. It's much less stressful than to come back to Ljubljana, to the office, and just pick up where I left a couple of days back, not a couple of weeks ago. So
the good thing is that the good thing and the difficult thing, Dennis, is that when you leave for a few days and then you come back, while things are still moving, you need to play catch up. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
and that's cool. Look, there's so many exciting things happening. I know we need to talk today about regional hubs. We need to talk about some of what we've done over the past half a year. Yeah, our half a year lapsed while we're on vacations. Yet it's half a year, and it was a very successful half a year. I believe we've doubled our team, we've doubled our properties tokenized. We'll talk about those in details. However, there's a movement happening over the past 2-3 months, and if you see within our communication, you see everyone commenting and sending big movers, big market players in conventional finance, in banking, in the digital world, Web3, crypto, moving towards real world assets tokenization. And this has been a movement, with everyone from JP Morgan to Ripple jumping on it. What's your view, Dennis? And do you believe that this is an indication that the wide acceptance and wide growth and development from everything from legislation to markets and the learning curve is now pivoting? What's happening?
in my view, it's something that has been happening for the slowly but surely has been happening since we've started developing Blocksquare. So we've always said this is an inevitable future. The question is who are going to be the players in that future. Hence why our standard email to reach out to us is not info@blocksquare.io, but future@blocksquare.io. And the future is now. It's happening now. There's a lot of movement, like you said. And one of the things that actually just came as a surprise to me, Jure from our business development team applied us to is it a competition or is it like a boot camp or a couple of months long collaboration, a matchmaking, I would say, where corporates choose startups and innovative companies to work with. And a very interesting corporate has chosen to work with us. I think we've communicated this through social media, and we had our bootcamp intro kind of meeting yesterday, the two teams with LBBW Bank, which is one of the largest banks in Germany, which is one of the leading economies. And the interesting part I learned from there is Makram, I think you're on mute. I can't hear you. Yeah. But let me continue my thought while you try to fix your mic. So what basically I was saying is that when we kicked off that meeting, what I learned, and I didn't know that previously, I missed that news, is that four larger German banks invested in a Ethereum-based blockchain infrastructure. That's obviously targeting to be a compliant infrastructure for and accessible only to users of those banks, or basically customers of those banks. But apparently it uses Solidity, if I understood correctly, as a foundation, which hopefully we'll be able to maybe complete this challenge with LBBW in a positive way, and hopefully find a way to collaborate at the end of that process. So this is kind of encouraging, because this means that we're not anymore just maybe strange looking brand, but we're being perceived more and more as a company and as a DAO that is providing valuable infrastructure, valuable solutions to important players on the market.
That's cool. Are you hearing me now? No?
Makram, I'm not sure. I still don't hear you, honestly. I did hear you for a brief time in the middle, and now I can't hear you anymore.
Okay, now? How about now? How about now?
Anyways, to keep people interacted here, one of the things that also, if we go into this institutional adoption of tokenized real estate assets, but not real estate, real world assets as a more broad term, I think this is definitely something good to the whole DeFi Web3 space, because it brings more stable value to the ecosystem, and this will definitely have a huge impact on the whole market. So I'm happy that we're at the intersection of Web3 and traditional assets.
How about
we can help facilitate some of that value to be migrated on chain. Yeah. Makram, I'm not sure everything was working just fine, and now you seem to have changed some settings. But yeah, so if we go back to things that happened, maybe we can recap a couple of things that happened in the past, in the first quarter of this year, but maybe even in the recent months. Now you're back. Awesome stuff.
I was obliged to exit and then come back in so that
okay,
so that you can start hearing me. But it worked.
It worked. So
okay. And you filled it up right. Okay, so look, there's much that have happened, and obviously, yes, the many big players. What I was surprised here, my intervention was, what I was surprised about is LBBW is the biggest saving bank in Germany, and it's actually like a hub for many smaller saving banks, which is fabulous. It's just amazing, and we're happy to collaborate with them, and hopefully we'll keep you posted and updated on what takes place there. Let's talk some details about a recap of the half a year that passed, Dennis, and then probably we'll talk about regional hubs and what are we doing out there.
Yeah, sure. I think we were just discussing before the block chat started. We were just discussing about what was the value of tokenized real estate assets that we've finished up the last year. No matter, I think it was around 40 million around that mark. Maybe a bit less, maybe a bit more. But this year we're already at 76. So I believe we've so far almost doubled our portfolio, which I think it's based on the other side, on the market, what's happening on the crypto market with the downtrend since beginning of May. I think that's quite positive. And I think some of the value that we've recently tokenized, what's great is that also it's coming from marketplace operators. So we have a new marketplace, actually a couple of marketplaces, and one of those contributing to real estate that is being used for staking by the owners is Crypto Snacks, which is a larger Web3 crypto community, I would say, who partnered with another company that comes from the real estate sector to operate a market of tokenized real estate. And we will be inviting them hopefully soon to one of the block chats so that you guys can all meet their team. We have a marketplace based operated out of Florida, Home Invest. It's a company that has been doing real estate syndication since a long time in the US, and looking to utilize tokenization now in their business processes through their own marketplace. And then last but not least, ARC Real Estate, which is operated by AR Crypto. And they are Panama based, and one of our platinum partners, which means they hold 100,000 sBST. And they had like a very successful mastermind just recently, a couple of days ago. And now they're eagerly looking to tokenize the first 4 properties and offer them through their marketplace. So I think this is all positive things to see new companies come on board and approach utilizing our tech in maybe a different way, and achieve positive results. So I think this is
there's something cool there. The match between a marketing company that has a community, or an engine, a platform that has a community, with a real estate company and using our tech. I believe that's a perfect golden combination. Yeah, you have someone taking care of the tech, a community that's there, and then a people who are pros in a locality. Because remember, real estate is local. I don't understand real estate in Ljubljana. Denis doesn't understand real estate in Dubai, and this is how it runs. And having that on a local basis in different markets is the essence of how can you create a successful community and successful real estate tokenization purchases for the community, and choose the right real estate as well. So that's a golden formula, which is very cool. So hats off for guys who are putting hands together and trying to do it. And I believe that it's great to have us double the real estate, because usually when you introduce something new, there's an uptick and then you dip. There was an uptick last year, but thankfully we were able to continue and double it with the first half of this year. So that's great. And hopefully we continue this way, and you continue seeing those numbers growing. Now, most importantly is, when people are tokenizing, initially we were tokenizing, we were sitting with every single individual and explaining the whole thing for him. Now people who are tokenizing are people who've watched people tokenize and stake, who've seen the whole process, and then they're empowered to do so, and inspired to do so. That's great, because that tells you that there's a trend building there. More people will. There's a compound effect when learning, and when people are excited and see that something is working well, and that's also another cool thing. When it comes to the type of real estate tokenized, Dennis, do you see a difference in the quality of real estate, type of real estate that's tokenized?
I would say yes. I would say yes, no here. Maybe both. Maybe it depends really on because it's not like we're onboarding 100 million worth of real estate every week, right? Which I think should be the goal in the end. But what we're doing currently is, you have week on week changes of, I don't know, 15%, and then you have week on week change of 0%, right? So, but it really comes down to the certified partners that we start collaborating with, and we have many certified partners who are not operating a marketplace. We have certified partners that are basically just operating to bring real estate from a certain region for staking. And I think that's an opportunity that within our community we haven't maybe expressed as much about it. That if you are a real estate professional, you have a network of real estate owners in a certain specific region, just reach out to us and start collaborating with us, because as a certified partner, you're able to now give value to real estate owners in DeFi. And maybe that's your roadmap towards running a marketplace in the future, when you will maybe then use that supply that you've created over time to start approaching a community of potential buyers through your marketplace. So these things that happen are all important, and with this latest certified partner running a marketplace, or looking to run a marketplace with Crypto Snacks, they have a huge UK-based portfolio of assisted living properties. These are properties with long-term government contracts, steady 5-6% yields. It's almost like a bond, if you will. and obviously this is very high quality, I would say, real estate, low risk, and cash flowing. So I think getting more and more assets that range from 2 to 10 million instead of 200 to 2 million, it's definitely showing a trend towards more institutional grade real estate, towards more commercial oriented real estate that has lower or higher barriers to access as such, and requires more operational expertise than residential real estate, let's say.
How is this merging with our launch of regional hubs? And we're just exploring, by the way, guys. Yes, we've put out there the regional hubs, and we are now exploring the parameters of it, and it's exciting to see how people are involved and engaged with it. And the beauty of it is that it's for everyone. How does this feed into regional hubs and the development of it?
Well, we've spoken in one of the previous blog chats about regional hubs a bit more in depth. Obviously, this is something that has been worked on for, I think, quite a long time by one of our team members. And it's something that kind of aligns back in a way to how we launched Blocksquare's first community on Telegram. We had an ambassador program, and we had a reward system in BST for those who would participate. And we have still people who I would say colleagues, but are still kind of ambassadors in that Telegram group, helping others to understand what we're doing. Because sometimes it's complex to get through the basics, because you need to have knowledge of a couple of things, right? So they're basically a core part of our community. And so we've decided to basically re-enable them, to re-enable being an ambassador. And being an ambassador means you know something about Blocksquare, you are eager to build out a community within your region. You want to connect with other ambassadors in that region or across the internet. You want to create online and offline events where those discussions can happen. We basically want to foster a community that is borderless, that is everywhere, so that we have people on the ground everywhere in our DAO. And how this is going to work is that 5 ambassadors can join forces to form a regional hub. And once there's 3 active regional hubs, there's a monthly competition where 20,000 BST per quarterly competition, I'm sorry, for each active regional hub is allocated to the rewards pool. Those regional hubs can organize events, meetups, can find new partners for certified partners, new marketplace operators, find people interested in BST. So there's a whole scoring system there that basically gives weight to each regional hub that's active. So for instance, in the first quarterly competition, and when it's active, it's going to be 60,000 BST available for the top performing regional hubs. And
if you're interested to, shall we tell everyone, if you're interested to be part of a regional hub or to create a regional hub, to start the seed for a regional hub, wherever you are in the world, get in touch with us. Okay.
Exactly.
And get in touch with us. You do not think it's difficult. It's pretty easy. The process is simple. We'll make it as simple as possible to you. Our team will give you the literature you require for you to pursue that. And remember, it's you would be part of organizations usually and volunteer for years and with no material benefit. Here you can have material benefit while you're learning and you are building at the same time. So you're doing both of those at the same time. Today you can join us and have that happen, have that run.
Exactly. So I think this is like an amazing opportunity to actively get involved in the DAO, not maybe just as a token holder or an observer, but you can actually create a business out of within the DAO. And regional hubs are very well structured. There's a whole set of documentation that will be available on docs.oceanpoint.fi. Where all the processes and rules of regional hubs will be outlined. So this should be out in the next 10 days, let's say, at the latest. And there will be internal promotion on this so that we get as many people who we wish to be active or become active as a regional ambassadors to apply. And I think that's one of the things that excites me here regarding this, building our community, furthering to with this activity. Yeah.
You can become a regional hub. You can become a seed of regional hub. You can comment on this video, regardless of the channel you're seeing or the platform you're seeing it on. You can, at the same time, connect with us through email, Discord, Telegram. More than welcome. Ask your questions. It doesn't harm. So let's say people join and become regional hubs now and start their activity. Where do we see this going? We do see this becoming the seed for our global future reach. Now, again, very fast, we don't want to repeat ourselves. Real estate is local. You cannot approach it centrally. You need to approach it in a decentralized way where tech that is present and methodology that is present and quality of approach and process that is present is utilized by different teams all over the world to really activate something that does work, where you target your community with real estate that you know, with technology that we've built, and that's what you are engaging in. So everyone is encouraged to do that. It's something that has a communal aspect, it has a sustainability aspect, and it has a a commercial aspect at the same time. So you have those three aspects together. You're not only enjoying with people you love to enjoy with, impacting your community, innovating within your community, regardless of which community you'd be in. All communities all over the world today are hungry for innovation, for growth, for and this is the war we are in. Yeah, and the biggest pandemic in the world, I believe, is the pandemic of laziness rather than anything else. So what we need to do is go out and innovate with the community, be part of it, impact it, create added value there. At the same time, while you're doing that, learn something new. No one of us is an expert in what's coming. We, each of us is an expert of part of what's there today. Yet we can learn and we can become experts in a part of what's coming, and you can join us doing that. Third, you make commercial sense doing that. It can be part of your business, it can be a side hustle for a future business, or it can be become your main business. You're encouraged to have either of those explored. To explore it, feel free to get in touch with us. Blocksquare, Blocksquare's team is all ready to help you achieve that. Before we close, because we promised people that we will not cross 30 minutes, or we try our best not to, tell us more, please, about what's happening today. There is development taking place. Yeah, new team members have joined. We'll talk about the new team members very fast in a few seconds, and then what's happening today. What are we growing there? How is the technology evolving? Where are we there?
So while you were talking about summer, well, we were developing version 0.5 for Oceanpoint. So the smart contract for version 0.5 is being developed as we speak, basically, and finalized. That version 0.5 will require a bit more work on the backend as well of the Oceanpoint app, because it is introducing something that I think will have also impact on our community, but as well on our ecosystem of marketplace operators. It's something that it introduces something that was not on the roadmap, but actually came naturally from the conversations we have in our sales funnel, where basically a lot of teams looking to launch a marketplace are interested in acquiring sBST. As sBST, either grows, falls in value. If we imagine it growing in value, this 100,000 sBST becomes really unsustainable for somebody to invest in. It becomes like a huge investment. And here, what we want to do is with V0.5, we introduce marketplace pools. Marketplace pools will allow the community to deposit, stake basically their sBST to selected marketplace operators who wish to candidate for operating a marketplace. It will require another portion to be deposited by the marketplace operator. And for instance, the minimum is going to be 10,000 sBST, but they can also add 30,000 on their end, or 50,000 or whatever. And then the rest is basically pledged by the community.
If you notice, guys, this is a seed of what regional hubs can become, because they can launch their own marketplaces, and they can not only launch, they can endorse marketplaces, they can stand around marketplaces. Sorry, go ahead.
Exactly. There's a lot of things that can evolve from this, but in the end, basically, stake BST will also receive further utility. The rewards will be taken from the governance pool. So the governance pool will have, obviously, as a consequence, a bit lower APY, and it will kind of encourage sBST holders to basically pledge to different marketplace operators. These marketplace pools will compete for a proportion of BST earned, and some will have higher APYs than others, because there's going to be basically metrics utilized to define the scoring for each marketplace pool, and the highest scoring is obviously going to have a much better APY for depositors on the community side. as those with lower scores. And this complexity, let's say, requires a bit more work on the back end as well, and thus it needs a bit more time. But I think what it's going to bring is it's going to bring a marketing tool for new marketplace operators to be more connected with our community. It's going to bring more decision-making power to BST holders to really have a say in which marketplace operators they want to see on the infrastructure. It's going to create accountability for new companies or companies who want to launch new marketplaces. And I think this is all great because it basically creates more transparency, it creates more value, gives more power to our DAO participants.
In 30 seconds, what's happening on our team?
In our team, we've had Donald join as a full stack developer and focusing on the admin panel. The admin panel was currently developed more slowly, I would say. We didn't receive as much attention as it will now. With Donald joining to work together with David and myself on developing further on the admin panel is going to add additional functionalities there. And I think, what else? We are onboarding a specialist for support, still searching for the right candidate. We are
You're a member of our community and you are passionate about supporting people and being part of a business support environment and a client support environment, feel free to get in touch with us.
And we are onboarding a graphic designer to join us. So somebody with experience and expertise in branding, etc. So that's still a position that's still open. Although some candidates are being closer to be offered a collaboration. But that's still open. If you're a designer and you have experience working in Web3 or not, doesn't matter. But if you have an open availability to collaborate with Blocksquare and you wish to be part of this group of people who are pushing real estate tokenization forward, I think you are very welcome to get in touch with us through email, chat, whatever means there are. Yeah.
Perfect. Denis, it's a pleasure seeing you after those few weeks on a block chat. Thank you to everyone who's been part of our block chat today. I hope you've enjoyed it. We just skipped about 30 minutes by a few minutes. Thank you so much for being part of our energy.
Bye. Thank you.